So what I want us to do is to start becoming more conscious, start choosing things in a better way for ourselves, and start creating a life that's going to gear us to really take advantage of the opportunities that are going to show up for us in the years to come.
This podcast is brought to you by The Integrated Human. We work up, down, inside out to plug yourself into your potential. If you want to see what we are up to and what's next, sign up to our newsletter or follow us on social media. If you like what we are doing, we really appreciate it if you can like our post on social media and YouTube and help us grow.
Welcome to the Big and Small podcast. This is Jason Shields and I'm big.
And I'm Marit Gabrielsen and I'm the tiny one.
Nice. So,
we had a break.
we did.
That was my fault.
Nah, I wouldn't say fault. It was a fact.
Well, it's my fault. I take the blame. I take full credit for missing out.
So you're a special agent?
Yes.
That's it. You're a special agent in information and security and intelligence.
Yes, actually,
Units.
yes.
That's right.
Like, what is he talking about? Like, yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah, that's right. when you
Like,
translate your...
Yeah, in my new position, that's
Yeah.
what I am, yes.
Yes,
correct.
in the military. So there
Yeah.
was a military gathering or exercise. And
Well, it was not a gathering, it was a yearly thing.
it was a
Yearly
yearly thing.
exercise.
Exercise.
And then I got COVID on top of it.
Oh!
Because the plan was to come down from the mountains and do a podcast, but then I got a fever. And just like every other flu, you get kind of sick.
That's it.
So when you can't say 2 and 2 is 4, then you shouldn't make a podcast.
Yeah, I picked her up. You guys have no idea. Marit, she's tiny, but she's badass. And she was standing there in all that equipment with all the packs. And, you know, she looked pretty awesome. I wish I had a picture of it. You know, and she had this like really serious look on her face because she had COVID.
It's not COVID, just as I said, it's not the fact that it's COVID, but you've been standing on the shooting range for a whole day and in the sun and you have a fever and you have cramps from your heel up to your neck.
Yeah.
You don't feel very good.
No.
And I thought I was severe dehydrated and then I got a positive COVID test. So therefore, no podcast last time.
Yeah, podcast didn't happen, but that's not because we don't love y'all. And today is my favorite day because it's podcast day.
It's Friday.
We're here with big heart and getting ready. So, what'd you learn in the military? What was that?
I had something good, but I can't remember.
COVID got your tongue. It's like, yeah.
No, it was interesting. It's I got it back. It's for me. The army is very ambivalent. I have to say that. I took the military education to become a sergeant, and now I'm a second lieutenant. I had a 10-year plan. I managed that in 3 years.
Of course.
Thing just lined up.
That's how
basically
Marit rolls.
And then I kind of were done. You know, I had finished everything I set my heart to. I had done all the things I said I wanted to do and try. And I was done. And it was kind of... And then afterwards I had to deal with all the trauma I got from it as well. But it's kind of... I don't regret going. Like I said before when we talked about it, I said that I don't know if I would have done it again.
No.
Knowing what it cost me. But I don't regret having done it.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it gave me... Sorry, I'm pulling in Jason's wires. I don't know if I would have done it again because it cost so much.
Yeah.
Not knowing, but I don't regret doing it because everything it took from me also gave me something back for. So in total, it's what it is. But that's also the thing. I have done it. I feel done with it. It's kind of, you had a relationship with a boy when you were a teenager and it was your first love and it was all good. But at the end, when you got 25, you decided you wanted different things in life.
Yeah.
So you parted as friends.
Yeah, exactly.
But then now once a year, I'm getting forced to sit with my old boyfriend.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, exactly.
And having to listen to how great his life is.
Yeah.
And I couldn't care less because it's a chapter I've closed.
Yeah,
and I'm done with.
Yeah.
So I'm getting forced into a relationship every year that I don't have any interest in being in.
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's kind of challenging.
Yeah.
Especially when it puts me into so many boxes. It puts so many limits. It puts so many things on me that I don't identify with.
Exactly. You
anymore.
have to suit up into a role that you've grown beyond.
Yeah, and when I loved it when I was there.
Yeah.
But it's now 6 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
I worked there.
Mm-hmm.
I like I said, I finished my work there, having done everything I could and wanted to.
Yes.
So it's very
and
strange.
Fulfilled everything.
And
that
fulfilled
they wanted
everything.
You to do.
Yeah. So it was kind of a very fulfilled relationship.
Yeah.
Again, both said it's been a good trip together, but now we're changing paths.
Yeah.
And then they forced you back in every year.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, and of course, it's
kind
a
of
lot
like
of people getting forced in to do this every year in Norway.
It's like a bad episode of X on the Beach.
Yes. Yeah, it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And you're getting, and the people are nice, and the
camo version.
yeah,
Camo version of X
so I
on
have
the
nothing
Beach.
evil or bad to say about
Of course. No.
the army in itself,
No.
and that is also the thing. I was preaching something that was called a verneplikt, and I don't how do you translate that in English?
It's your duty
to your country. It's basically
duty to your country. In many countries, I know we have many listeners from the U.S. and from Saudi Arabia. We have Japan, and we have Brazil, and they have the whole world. Shout out to you guys. The thing is that in Norway, everybody pretty much has to, in some way or other, participate in the military. And sometimes you're not called in, but mostly, you should expect that you have to show up. And then you have an obligation to the nation to do your duty for the country, which means, in some people's case, it means basically just showing up for your first military training. And then after a year, you're done. And some people have basically like National Guard work afterwards. Like in America, you become part of the National Guard, and then every few months you have to show up for a weekend and do like an exercise or whatever. But in Norway, some people, especially highly qualified people like Marit, who are special soldiers and have special information and education, they're pulled in at least once a year, sometimes more, to do their duty for the nation.
Yes. So it's an ambivalent feeling, and again, it's like being forced to be with a boyfriend you're done with.
Yep. Yeah.
And so our episode of Sex on the Beach, it's a camo version. Yes.
X on the Beach, camo version.
And it's also very strange. This is also very strange because you have just your society, your normal society, and then here I'm a receptionist and a podcaster.
Yeah.
And then I am a jiu-jitsu athlete.
Mm-hmm.
But in there, I'm neither of that.
Yeah.
That doesn't apply. And you have the same. You have, if you look at ranks in society, you can have the chief of the bank, the big boss in the bank, and then he's underneath you for some reason all of a sudden in rank.
Yeah.
So there, and if you work in the same bank, and then you in there's kind of like a cash register thing in the bank, and he's the boss.
Yeah.
There, but then you go into the army and you have military education, for instance, or for some reason they bumped you up. You are over him and he's underneath you, and he has to do what you tell him to do.
Yeah.
So that is also a very strange dynamics, because you meet people that you used to seeing in their social setting outside.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden everything's changed when you come in there, because you have the line of command, you have your duty, you have orders, and you don't talk to people like that in the real world.
Yeah.
Like in normal society, it's very army-like.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is also a big fuck up for me, because it's so strange.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you kind of don't identify with stuff, but it's so the army is very
it's established.
It's so established that you're being forced to identify
exactly.
for that week.
It's like,
your language.
Come here, private Mr. President of the bank. Get down and give me 50.
No, you can't say president of the bank, because you don't put that into it.
But I didn't know what his name is.
No,
Joe?
but then you say Joe.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but you know,
Get down, Joe. And then,
Get
but
down,
when you
Private
get back
Joe.
to work in the bank, he can say that to you.
yeah,
Because then you have like, what's it called? You know, oh, you can't do this in America because then the place gets very angry at you. Oh, what's it called? You shouldn't not organize. You shouldn't have a, what's it called? Union.
a union. Yeah, exactly.
Because then
Yeah.
you have the union in your back.
Exactly.
If the boss does that. But in the
Exactly.
army, you go. That's how it is. So it's extremely confusing. So that was the 1 week with COVID and army, and I have 1 year until next time.
Yeah, good. We have a whole year. So anyway, talking about military, one of the things that you have there are guns.
Yeah.
And one of the names in Norway that I have always liked, and we have them in America too, which is it's not a very common name, but it's Gunnar in Norwegian, and in America we always thought it was Gunner. And we always thought that was like, wow, your dad's a gun freak.
Nice.
Hey, your name is Gunner? You must be a badass.
Gunnar, not Gunner.
Not Gunner, right? But the whole point is that, while you were away, I had one of my very, very cool people come in, and his name is Gunnar. And he's a guy who listens to the podcast, and sends lots of love to you. And we were having this conversation, and he impressed me so much because he's been injured pretty bad, and he has a lot of responsibility in his family. He takes care of 3 beautiful kids and takes care of his wife who's sick. And I have to say that this guy he's a whole nother level of gentleman. He's a whole nother level of everyday hero. He's
Extremely kind person.
Oh man, and he was listening to one of the podcasts and was inspired by Olav, that was teaching people how to work with the big machines and stuff, and how he was doing that. And he also has a leadership and a teaching position. So this guy is he's like a superhero in many different levels of his everyday and his life. And he'd been injured, and he had to go to a surgeon to see if they're going to take out all the equipment, because when you get really badly injured, sometimes they screw together again. They put plates in or whatever. And he was going to have that fixed. And he went into the hospital, and this orthopedic surgeon just was super, super duper rude to the guy. I mean, it was like, hey, you, come here. It's like barking at him like a dog. And he walked in, and he's like, okay. He's like, so why are you here? Well, I have some issues. Oh, looks like you had this and this procedure done. Yeah. Well, do you think you're going to get any better after I've cut on you? Well, I don't know. It's kind of it's your
Please tell me.
Yeah, it's your job to tell me whether this is going to be good. Well, okay, we can take it out in 3 weeks. Yeah, but I can't in 3 weeks because I'm at work and I'm taking care of my wife and I have to get my kids in. So it's very difficult for me to come in 3 weeks. Well, then it's not important. Yeah, but it's important, but I can't do it in 3 weeks. I have to plan quite a bit, and it's not going to work for me right now. So, and of course the guy was frustrated, and he didn't have more time for him, and he just left, stormed out. The surgeon,
yeah.
And then Gunnar, superhero, thought, wow, poor guy. Because imagine a person's coming to you with a problem, needing help.
And your job is to help.
And your job, the one thing that you've picked that you're supposed to be good at in your whole life is that, to help people. And
you're a surgeon.
And you treat people like that. How horrible this guy has to feel in his heart. How bad must that guy have it? It's insane.
Mm.
And I had to stop for a second and think, okay, hold on. you have all this stress on you. You're working like a superhero full time. You're taking care of your kids. You're taking care of your wife. You're an upstanding citizen. You have constant pain. You're making really the best out of all the things that you're doing. You're just an exceptional human being. And you get treated like that. And you're big enough inside yourself. You're big enough and you have resources enough to somehow not take that personally, or take it personally and then turn that feeling inside to compassion for that guy who's obviously living in a shitty life. Because if he's treating people who need help like that, he's obviously not treating himself well either.
Yeah, and you know, you bark at the people closest to you because they can take more. But when you start barking at your patients,
then
it's bad.
Then it's bad. Then you've lost something of
when
yourself.
You can't, because it's you kind of have levels of it, because it's much easier to bark at your husband because it's your husband. Is kind of, he's not going to just leave. Most likely, it's going to take some effort, and if he does that, it's paperwork involved. So you have some time.
It's
but
cheaper to keep her.
Or him.
No, him. Paid $2 to bring him home. To pay $200,000 to leave him alone.
Yes. So, but if you're starting to lash out at work, then it's bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Or in social, like if it's you lash out as the cash register and then the local convenience store or something.
Yeah, it's just not good, right?
Yeah,
it's not good. So, you know, and here you are also not making a person who's going to be ultimately vulnerable. He's going to be put to sleep as you're basically cutting on his body. You're not making that person feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. Then you're not doing your job well. No. Right? So that person's chosen path is just wrecked.
And you can say what you want about every treatment, but like we know, 33% of all treatment is placebo, at least.
Yeah, placebo, exactly.
At least 33%. At least. And then you then not feeling comfortable going into the surgery because the surgeon or whoever there is didn't treat you very good, then that placebo is already working against you.
Exactly.
Because you don't feel very confident in his job or his competence. And then you just have 66% left.
That's it.
And weird, placebo is so important.
It's crazy.
So it's that was not a good job for that.
Nah,
not a good day for that.
It's not a good day, but just how amazing that is. What a personal transformation, because that's the whole thing, friends. How do you know that you're getting some evolution on? How do you know that you're growing? Well, when things happen, how fast does it take to recover? How do you transform like an alchemist? You know, they talk about alchemists, that they turn lead into gold. No, you take these heavy, dark emotions and turn them into gold for yourself. And what he did was he turned that horrible experience into some compassion for this guy. And I just thought that was such a healthier way to go.
Yeah, but if it's so insane because you just go, wow.
Yeah.
Your life must suck. Yeah. I thought my life was bad. If you treat me like that, ooh, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. On the inside of you, what's happening, right? Yeah, that's crazy.
But that's the thing. It's more and more outside. That's something I've been thinking about the last weeks. You know, we had first COVID, then we had a war in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And now we have gas prices and electricity prices.
Yep.
And food prices.
Yep.
And what's not going up. So it's so much chaos now on the outside.
Yep.
It's so much chaos. It's incredible. And we had this conversation last week, but I feel it's so important to be strong within now.
Yes.
It's getting more and more, what's the word for it? It has a fancy word, but I said up in the air with it. You have to be, if you're not calm within yourself so you can actually watch what's happening, you're getting thrown out around like a rag doll. You know when Thor grabs Loki and goes...
Yeah, smash, smash, smash.
Yeah, that's how it is for very many now.
Exactly.
If you are constantly going after and reacting to the gas prices or reacting to the food prices or...
reacting to other people's stress.
You're getting thrown out like Loki.
Yeah, exactly. Like Hulk smashing Loki.
It's so much.
It's awesome.
It's so much chaos. I was reading this article this morning, and it was about the ships that's standing outside China, like one of those big harbors in China, and it was 300 more ships than normal this year.
Yeah.
Just standing there and pushing because they're having issue with COVID and delivery and all that. And you could see the picture, like the satellite picture. You get stressed just looking at that picture.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
And I think
issues with canals and everything.
Yeah, the Suez Canal that
Yeah.
was like 60 billion crowns a day or something. It's the amounts are so insane.
Yeah, they're giant, and also one of the largest railroads between the east and the west goes through Ukraine. So now it's shut down. So
actually, they don't serve. They have stopped serving fries. You know that McDonald's stuff, the fried potatoes. They have stopped selling that in Germany because they don't have oil, because that's from Ukraine.
Yeah, that's right. Isn't that crazy?
You can't get French fries.
Yeah.
Of all the things you would think that you wouldn't be able to get.
French fries.
You understand wheat and bread and fresh vegetables, but French fries?
Dudes, they took our French fries.
And it's not the lack of potatoes, it's the lack of oil.
That's great. That's so crazy.
I thought that was very fascinating.
That's fascinating.
But just imagine, it's so much stress now that even French fries.
Yeah, they took your French fries, bro.
French fries, bro. Yeah. And then it's so important that we start working on their inner climate, because I'm so grateful because you still get hit by it, but you're able to just at least hold your grounding a little bit better.
Yeah.
Then you're getting thrown around now, because it's intense. It's so much, and it's gonna be more. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have the deflation.
That's it. Yeah, we're gonna have deflation and a recession for sure, guys. Just so you know, it's coming. The logistics are down at recession levels. It's not something that can be built back up very quickly, and we're going to have a lot of supply issues. And just look at the stock market; it's going to start to fall over time. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to think that the answer is going to be Bitcoin. But my friends, when people don't have money, they don't have money for Bitcoin either. So
right now, it's the time to stop and find your grounding within and do really good things for yourself. And that is not necessarily that trip to Aruba.
Yeah,
just exactly. So that said, that's escapism, and because you feel you need it.
Yep.
But what you're going to do there is you're going to waste, I don't know, 2,000 euros on drinks and short-term happiness. And then you go home and you won't have enough necessarily for the hit that comes.
That's it.
And you haven't built yourself in that period of time, most likely. Some may have that ability. I don't think I would. And it's not saying that you shouldn't take time and have fun. Do. But be very conscious on where you spend stuff and where you use your energy right now.
Yeah. And there's some really interesting things that I learned in researching this. And first of all, people don't really know this, but just having this podcast, for example, this podcast is broadcasting to thousands of people and will be there forever, just like a TV program in the old days. But then you had a studio, you had maybe 10, 15, 20 people who were working, you had all kinds of technology around it, and you had a specialized person for each piece of technology. And now we're doing this, and it's basically me and Marit and some microphones.
And a Rodecaster.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's so much more power that everybody has at their fingertips. But what you don't think about is that technology in itself has taken 15 other people's jobs.
Yeah, we would have had a studio. We would have a person to push the record button. We would have someone that modifies sound, like you guys don't, like, no, we don't edit.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You don't have to.
Don't have to.
It shows up and it's good. It says thumbs up kind of. And then you just press, then you just go online, press a couple of buttons, uses 2 hours to upload and do that kind of stuff. And then it's out.
Whereas technology increases, basically all of the jobs for people who are not educated in a way that specializes them for something specific disappear. And when that then happens, those people don't have jobs and money and don't pay taxes. and don't buy stuff. So what happens? We get deflation. So we have three weird things happening. First of all, we are basically almost post-COVID crisis.
Except in actually, yes.
Yeah.
Except the ones that are kicking in it most now is Asia. China is still locking down cities, and the Singapore just closed down.
That's so crazy. That's
so they
crazy.
still it hasn't kind
We're
of
not finished
forced
with
it
it
through yet.
No, we're not done. But we're getting to the end of that, right? And generally,
Just need
after
to tighten the screw a little bit more.
yeah, exactly. But my favorite philosopher, MTG, Marit Gabrielsen, she was commenting on the fact that, it's kind of like our modern version of war, this whole COVID thing, because it's an alternative way of living and things changing and governmental restrictions and a whole bunch of stuff that you really can't control and you have to abide by. You have to change the way you're looking at your life and the way you're acting. Most people have done some kind of modification. Exactly. And that's caused all kinds of ripples. But when that lets up, you usually get kind of like a post-war feeling where everything kind of goes up. So after World War II, the stock markets went up. Everybody had jobs. Everybody was making money and spending money. It was a fantastic time for the economy. So you would almost have expected that to happen now, except the consequences of COVID and the fact that Putin has created this war in Ukraine has really thrown us for a big spin, guys. So what's happened is you haven't had container storage, the big containers that you put on ships to transport stuff. So they've been cut down and put to the side and used for other things. So they actually physically don't have ability to transport stuff.
And it's kind of like you had the kind of the war has been in the way of COVID, but we not. It just what happened, I feel, when COVID hit was it just everything stopped. But there was no crisis, but now we're getting the ripples of the world closing down for 2 years.
Exactly. And then that combined with the fact that Ukraine's not, letting Germany cook their French fries. And, the whole East and West connection is broken because the railroad there is gone. And the fact that energy prices are increasing, meaning that it costs you way more to live in Europe right now and probably will in the US. So just be aware.
So I said in Norway, the electricity bill has gone up 1,000 euros every month.
Every month, guys, and that's normal households. So you just have to understand it's $1,000, guys. It's a whole lot of money that you weren't expecting to have to pay.
And who has 1,000 euros or $1,000
extra a month,
laying there a month?
Yeah,
and then you put the gas prices that. A tank of gas had gone up, I would say 30 euros.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have one of those a month. That's
one or two, depending on the car. Yeah.
So then it's significant.
Yeah, it's significant. And then, of course, now food prices and everything else because of scarcity is going up. So the whole point is, my idea was in a year to a year and a half to 2 years, we're going to see a recession, which is the opposite of inflation. So that's when they say cash is king, right? So the question is, should you try to pay down loans? Should you save your money? What should you do? And actually, the research that I've gotten so far is that nobody knows. Nobody knows because this constellation has never been before. We have ideas. We have people who are, throwing the chicken bones and trying to read them. I mean, we have people who are analysts, and the people who know this stuff and are really truthful will tell you, have no idea. The only thing we know is most likely recession's coming. And that is because of all of the high prices over time and the lack of logistics, meaning that even if the products were ready to be sold, they can't be transported. The transportation is so expensive.
Yeah, it's gone up so much. And many think that, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, but many think that, but if you just increase the wages, it's going to solve it. It won't.
No.
The thing is, what's going to happen is that everything's gone up for so long that it's just going to just slam you down a little bit.
Yeah.
It has to happen because a natural growth has to stop at one point to kind of readjust.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it can't go
a correction in the market.
It's correction of the market.
Yeah.
So you just have to be stable enough to take that correction. and understand that it's coming. And it, like I say, it doesn't mean freak out. It doesn't mean just save everything, but it has to be a little bit aware, and because the outside, and when the outside is chaos, become on the inside.
That's it. And also, when you're not, researching to see what your dream car is going to be and you're going to buy it, in a month, rather research on how you can go inside and fix the inside environment. Make sure that you're ready for change. The only constant is change, and now there's a lot of change in many areas. So maybe don't focus on, expanding your outside world. Maybe expand your inside world, because that doesn't cost that much. And
money. It
right?
costs a lot.
Yeah,
I will say.
Yes.
It can cost a lot, depending. The whole. How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time?
Yeah.
Unless you are an anaconda.
Yeah, unless then you take it whole. You take it whole, right? But the point is that the inside work is good, and inside work's good no matter what. But in a recession, it's extra good.
It's extra good. You don't get thrown around. Like, it's the best picture I can give. You don't get thrown around like Loki.
Yeah, exactly.
You're standing still, and it's not that you don't feel it, but you're conscious of it. It doesn't throw you off your direction. It doesn't send you into depression. It doesn't make you make bad decisions because you panic and you just, that trip to Aruba is going to fix everything, or the new car going to fix everything, or you don't get those urges because you're calm enough to kind of evaluate what's happening and make better decisions.
Exactly. And
understand that things end.
Exactly.
Also.
Things start and things end. So every cycle, I was hanging out with Chuck Mellon, one of the guys who had the world record for the most money ever made in the options market. I think he had a portfolio of $500 million. And he said, the difference between me and everybody else is that when it goes up, the markets, I know it's going to go down. Everybody goes up and everybody thinks it'll never go down. It goes down. And when it goes down, everybody thinks, no, it's never going to go up again. We're screwed. But I know it goes up and down because I'm that smart and I'm that old, he said. So everything that goes up comes down, and everything that goes down comes up. So, but please be aware, the next couple of years, don't increase your cost of living. Don't buy a new luxury car. Don't, try to upgrade your house right now. Just try to be a little cool. Collect a little cash if you can, and
make
be calm.
the upgrades that actually are sustainable and that you actually need.
Yeah, you do the things you need, but don't expand on the outside. Expand on the inside. That's it. Speaking of that, interesting talk about expansion. One of my friends, he runs a brewery called Agir, and that's a guy. He's interesting to talk about, because talk about being passionate inside and out for what you do. This guy is amazing. He's like a scientist. He's a musician. He was a leader of a rock band back in the 80s and 90s, and amazing guitarist, great musician.
A lot of people in Europe will actually know about him, like in the Netherlands and Germany and stuff, because he sells a lot of beer down there from Norway. Yeah,
exactly. And that's the thing. I was going to say that what you maybe don't know about this guy is that he went from being a rock star to being an amazing brewer. Him and his wife run a huge hotel and in one of the best places in the world, Flom. And he's won the gold medal in beer production. I don't know how many, 10 years running, something like that. But they branched out into spirits. And he has 2 products now that were given double gold medals.
Wow, nice.
Meaning that every single judge on the panel thought it was the best. So that means that he has two spirit products. One's called Old Tom Gin, and the other one's called Kvist Gin.
Which means stick.
Which means stick. It's kind of cool.
Gin?
Yeah, stick gin. And it's Kvist in Norwegian. And it is double gold medal, meaning that all the judges are completely in agreement that is the best gin in the world. That's the best gin in the world. And I don't like
gin and tonics.
Well,
and by the way, I have to say, when you say spirits, I'm just like, what spirits is he talking about?
Yeah, are we talking about ghosts?
The ghosts?
Yeah.
And then, no, it's spirits, English. Oh, that means...
exactly.
Because... Yeah,
Yeah.
that means spirit.
Liquor, liquor. Yeah, exactly.
But just for, I hope someone else had that experience because
Yeah.
I just went spirit.
He's got the best spirit in the world.
He's
Dude,
got double golden spirit.
spirits, yeah, exactly. Well, what
That
kind
must
of
be powerful
what kind of
stuff.
voodoo is that, right?
And I think shamanism is great, but
double gold medals.
double gold
There's
medals.
a competition in that.
It's like, I need to sign up.
Yeah, right, right, exactly. But it was in this giant competition in San Francisco, and I just thought it was interesting. Number one, you have to be passionate. Number two, do what you know, do it until you become the best. And at the same time, once you start winning everything, then you know you're ready for the next thing, right? And I just thought it was so cool that a guy, down the road here is just killing it on the world basis. And he sends lots of alcohol, lots of beer down, like you're saying, to Germany and the Netherlands and all that. And I just wonder how it's going to be with all the logistics. How hard it is.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I didn't think, because you never think about how did that thing end up here, because you buy something from Wish or China and then just ends up in your mailbox. But how it got there,
Yeah.
we never think about that.
No, exactly. That's it. And the scarcity, because the whole point is that now I just told you what the best gin in the world is. Good luck getting some.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are able to. Because the products are amazing. And it's kind of awesome because when you know that that's the best, if you don't like that, then you don't like gin. Right?
Well, I don't like gin.
Well, we have to try some and see.
Well, yeah.
Because it's the best. So,
Well, yeah, that's maybe true.
Yeah.
Maybe I just have had bad gin.
That's possible. That's possible.
Could be. Unfortunately, I don't like beer at all. After I tried the beer for 6 years in the army, never liked it. And you're allergic,
I'm
so
allergic.
we can't do that. So then we have to do gin instead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, imagine being allergic to beer. That's me, and some kinds of wine. So I guess it's been good for me because I really have to. It's not very often that I can drink.
He has
anything.
to work as an inner self instead of escaping into alcohol.
What?
Yes.
Get out of town. Yeah, exactly. You see, that's the thing. It's you turn the things that kind of are putting a limit on you and turn them into good things for yourself. So the question is, how is the world going to deal with logistics? Are we going to be more local? Are we going to be more homegrown and slow food focused? When McDonald's in Germany is not getting their fries,
And actually, it's not only McDonald's, but
No, of course.
it's everywhere
Yeah.
in Germany.
Yeah.
Apparently. But yes, it is, and I think in one way, I think everything of this could be very good for us because we don't say trauma, we say it's a
reorganizational event.
Yes, very big words.
Organizational event.
Meaning that thing has to change, and we don't like change.
No.
I hate change. I think it's I'm the person that refused to buy a new jacket until it takes me 26 times to try the zipper, and if still then doesn't work, I will allow people to force me to buy one.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Because I love what I have, and you get so used to your thing.
Yeah.
So you're getting used to travel, you're getting used to not travel.
Yeah, exactly.
We have been getting used to put like the antibac on your fingers like multiple times a day, but now you don't have to do that, but you just see a lot of people doing it.
Yeah.
Because not doing it is change.
Yes. And by the way, I don't want to really like bust anybody's bubble or anything, but the antibacterial stuff that we're using, especially when it's not soap and you're washing your hands, it doesn't really work well against viruses. So most of it's just been kind of us doing something to make ourselves feel better, kind of like taking antibiotics for a viral pneumonia. And that's one of the reasons why we have a lot of antibacterial antibiotic resistant bacteria.
Yes.
In the hospitals and stuff, because we've been giving people something to do. So as we have been trying to stay away from COVID virus, we've been waging war on normal bacteria with the antibacterial stuff that we've been using. Mm-hmm. So we'll see where that takes us.
Yes. Yeah. But that's the whole point. I had this. When I know about this woman, one of beautiful, strong woman, and unfortunately something traumatic, a reorganizational event happened to her.
Yes.
I think it felt more like trauma, like big trauma for her. But anyways,
Yep.
and she's been locked in because of COVID, an older person, and then she had to get some help, and that was a change, but now she refused to change back because what we think about what will happen is often different because of what will happen.
Yeah.
Like I said, we had the meditation event, and I said to the people there that often events, in my experience, events or happenings like that turns out different from what I expected it to be, and it looked totally different from what I thought it would look like, but often it's exactly what I need.
Yes.
And that is often also that with change, if you are open for the change, you can see the possibility of the change. But if you are getting thrown around like Loki, change is very difficult because it kind of is trying to move you that way, and then you refuse. And it's trying to move you that way, and you refuse. And it's trying, and you refuse even more. So then they're going to have to slam you over.
Yeah. And
because you're not able to just work with it and stay your ground. And then maybe the change that has to be a centimeter. But because you are forcing not to change or to make that readjustment, you're getting thrown.
Yeah.
And then you end up a meter off.
Yeah.
Instead
totally.
of a centimeter.
That's it. And first of all, if you're resisting the change, your focus is generally on where it's hurting and dealing with the pain of not wanting to change when things are changing.
And which is just because we're terrified of it.
Exactly.
We don't want it to, and change is horrible.
Yeah, it is. And it's
unpleasant. It's not horrible. It's unpleasant.
Well, it's horrible when we're resisting it and not accepting the fact that it's happening and putting our energy in, okay, what's next? It's a reorganizational event. And that's the whole point, is like you're looking for, how can I use the opportunities that are coming to me? First, you have to realize that there are opportunities in change.
Yeah, with
right?
everything that's happening now.
And change hurts very often. It's going to cost you something, right? But the question is that it's also taking a consideration. You lose something, yeah, but then you don't have to worry about that thing. You can use energy on something else.
And to change something is always unpleasant, although it's for the better.
That's it.
Because it has to be a change.
Yes.
And I don't know anyone that started something that thought, oh, that was pleasant to start with. Yeah. Even if it's good for them.
Yeah. Steve Jobs talked about that.
Yeah.
Exactly. He said that whenever you start a company or whatever, you have to be in love with it, because at some point it's going to be completely different than you thought, and it's going to cost you more than you're willing to give. So you have to be in love with it so much that you suffer through it enough to be successful.
I think about everybody knows you should stop. If you smoke, that's not healthy for you. You should stop smoking. So you stop smoking, which is good for you. It's not pleasant.
Oh, oof.
I would imagine.
I've never smoked,
but
yeah.
That's kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
You do something that you know is good for you. If that is sitting down 5 minutes a day to meditate, signing up for a course, not going to Aruba, whatever it is, it's good for you. But that doesn't mean that it's going to feel very pleasant in the beginning. But it's the long-term gain.
Exactly.
Especially with the times we're in right now.
That's it. So just know that this is reorganizational. Times are changing and things will be well. Try to expand on the inside and not on the outside for the moment, because the markets and the world are unsecure. We don't know what direction they're going. Remember that loving yourself and the people around you is very important. Focus on finding the balanced, healthy emotions, the balanced, healthy actions in and around you. And know that we appreciate you, that we love who you are, and we want to see you through this in a better and better way, and make sure that we're all not just barreling through, but we're floating, we're flying, we're feeling great.
Oh, yes. And just remember, you are not going to end up in an episode of Sex on the Beach all of a sudden.
That's right. I think it's X on the beach, not sex on the beach.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah. Oh, good thing we're not on camera right now.
Right.
I'm totally ready. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was. Is that a lisp or she saying sex on the beach?
No, did I? No, it says X on the beach.
X on the beach.
Yes, or Paradise Hotel.
That's
but
it.
no. Oh.
Okay.
Anyways. It is very good.
Yeah.
The drink, that is.
Yeah, right.
The other one is a lot of sand.
Yes.
in
Oof,
it.
oof.
Yes. Anyways, that's not happening to you.
No.
Not gonna force to spend a week with your ex.
Nope.
No. So hopefully, if you are, God bless you.
God bless you.
And remember, then keep your center.
Yes.
don't latch out on him or her. Yes. So yeah.
So
Now we're finishing with that. Oh my God. Oh.
So remember, you matter unless you multiply yourself by the speed of light squared. Then your energy. And if you can't be energy, matter.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope you felt we added something to your day and hopefully your life. If you want to learn more, subscribe to our newsletter and find us at integrated-human.com. That is integrated-human.com. Integrated Human on YouTube and other social media platforms. Have a great day and thank you again for listening. Love, light, and upgrade from us at the Integrated Human team.